lives in Tennessee. This was Christmas.
Something.
Went to some fans' houses and
my
sang
gosh.
at their houses on Christmas out of nowhere, and it was so
That was
fun.
Get ready. It's time. Christina, Catherine, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli.
Welcome back to
The Cimorelli podcast. Hey, ladies. This is episode 236. That's what I thought. 236. Guys, we've been yapping for 236 hours.
I almost wore that sweatshirt, and then we'd be wearing the same thing.
Wait, I love it.
what sweatshirt?
I love it.
The one she's wearing.
This one.
I have
We
it
have
too.
the same one.
Okay. How do you? Okay, whatever.
From,
It was gifted.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, how do you?
It's a great sweatshirt.
I know.
Anyway, wait. What are we talking about today?
Oh,
It's my idea.
Gosh.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about loneliness, but like specifically loneliness and like that type of vibe during the holidays, because I feel like that just like turns up the dial on our mental health issues 12 trillion times, and the people are very isolated and lonely in society today, and people includes us and everyone, you know the deal. So we're going to talk about basically how we've dealt with being lonely in different ways in different seasons during Christmas. And by seasons, I mean seasons of life, not seasons, because it's all in the same season. You know.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's get into it, gals.
So, what's your high and low of the week? Let's start.
Okay,
What
I'll
did I
start.
do?
Mine's like low turned high
Oh, no.
because I was food poisoned, so that was my low.
That's a
The
tough
high
one.
was when I wasn't anymore.
Oh.
No, that is
Because-
truly
no,
a high.
I was. Well,
I mean,
this
that
is
is
the
a
thing.
high, that's
I
true.
was sick in some way for like a week and a half straight.
Oh, boo.
Like, I thought I was coming down with a cold, and then I was poisoned, or maybe not. Maybe it was stomach virus. I don't know. But I think it was poison. And then I was nauseous for a few days. So it just like really wrecked all of my routines, all of my good habits that I had been making went to the wayside because I was just like laying around all day and being nauseous and not really motivated, so my high was just getting back into things, like started going on my runs again and started trying to wake up early again. I haven't quite gotten to 6 a.m.
She's
yet,
a runner. She's a
but
track
today
star.
we got to 7, so
Wait,
I'll
that's
take
good.
it was good. I felt
7's
good about
great.
it. But I don't know, I'm just kind of like burnt out still now from all of that, but I'm like getting back, finding myself again,
Starting to feel like yourself again.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Like, some things change within me.
Really holding
Oh.
space.
That was my high. I was seeing Wicked.
Oh, that was such a high.
That was so good.
I think we
cried.
should see it together. Come on, people.
I want to see
Please,
it.
I'll see it again
haven't
with
seen
you
it
guys.
Please, sir. It was so
I want
good.
to.
It was
should go this weekend.
amazing. I was like nervous because like I just didn't know how it was gonna go.
Oh my.
And then I
God,
also was
what
like,
would
I didn't
happen?
know how big of a fan I was of Wicked
Yeah, you were.
beforehand. I
You were saying
didn't
every word
realize.
to every song.
Yes.
What?
Yes. I was like,
She didn't sing out loud.
Did they
No.
Did they have a sign? I saw that at some place. They have a sign that's like, "Please do not sing."
No, no one was
Oh
singing.
my gosh, a
They're
theater
like
had
a
play.
sing-along version will.
yeah, they're
happen at
doing
a different
sing-along
time.
versions in December.
Oh, I gotta go.
They have to tell theater kids to not sing.
No, you can't.
so
I was
yeah,
mouthing
shut-
the words and being like,
How could you not sing?
I was doing that in some of the parts that I knew because it's just like
I
can't
didn't
help
realize
it.
I knew every single
Guys,
word.
a sing-along version. Just imagine being in the theater, everyone singing
Sounds
"Defying
fun.
Gravity." That
Sounds
sounds
fun
like
to
a
me.
nightmare.
The only
Yeah.
thing is, I feel like it would ruin the moment of like if we would be able to hear the singer.
Well,
or not.
that's how you have to see it before that. That
Yeah.
can't be your
Okay,
first
okay.
time seeing
Yeah.
it.
And
Oh, it sounds so bad.
It's interesting because I've never
Maybe.
like I think I saw the like a random DVD or whatever of the show one time a long time ago
I've never seen
that I don't
anything.
remember.
Yeah,
I've never
saw it.
seen it live. I only know the music, but I was like obsessed. And I forgot that I was obsessed with the music.
So good.
And then I literally the second they started singing in the opening of the movie, I
know.
died.
I was screaming.
I had chills.
I had the pleasure of seeing Wicked on Broadway in 2017.
That
And
does not seem real to
I
me.
literally
I don't
sobbed.
remember you seeing.
I sobbed
'Cause you
most
weren't-
of the
we
show
weren't that.
because it was. I literally was sitting there bawling because it was so. The way that the cast sounded singing, it just brought me full body
Kat,
chills.
you are gonna cry this whole movie.
Oh my gosh, it was like the best singing, and the harmonies were so perfect and clear. Like, I'm literally getting chills thinking about it. I just sat there stunned by how beautiful it sounded and how good the music. Oh my gosh, it was like such an experience. Yeah. So I'm excited for the movie. I loved it on Broadway. It was so good.
Okay,
Wanna see it
highs
again?
and lows, guys.
Oh,
this is just.
well, I can
Wicked
relate
recap.
mine to Wicked. So my high was kind of lame, but I really want to see it. I'll see it soon. I went on a bike ride, and I've just been singing the Wicked songs constantly. So I sang Wicked on my bike ride.
Oh,
Wait,
out loud?
The Wizard and I.
Wait, what?
In the streets.
Yes, no one was around.
Wait, what are the? How did,
You
what's the
are me.
verse?
Guys, a rainstorm was approaching, so no one was out, and so I just was singing "Carefree" on my bike
Kat's
ride.
like,
Wait, what's the verse
once
of the-
I meet the
oh,
yeah.
wizard.
Yeah, I was singing.
Once I
Waited for since birth. No
I love
father. Yeah, I know. I think I know almost every word to every song, even the not as known songs, because we used to listen to the soundtrack on repeat when we were
Oh,
teenagers,
yeah.
Did.
over and over.
For some reason, I'm very partial to something
Something
bad
bad
is happening in us. I love that
Lisa
song.
used to really listen to the soundtrack
Oh,
on
so
repeat.
good.
Remember, she used to play it all the time. And where was that? In Malibu?
And probably NorCal,
She
too.
would play it all the time. Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
think
too
I
good.
can't remember. No, in Malibu she went through a phase. I remember.
Did almost all of us sing Wicked songs for our auditions in musical theater?
I did not do that.
I did Loathing.
personally.
Oh,
Well,
of course you
for
would.
auditioning for Wizard of Oz.
I
Which I
did.
was
yeah.
the Wicked Witch in, so it worked.
Perfect.
Wait,
So it
Slay.
worked.
I love that for you.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
I forgot about that.
Kath was
I
my
did
double.
Popular. Yes.
Remember?
Oh my gosh. Okay,
we were
that's
the
so,
same
yes.
height, pretty much.
And people thought we were twins.
So she was my double.
Christina played the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz, and it was like the flying scene.
We did fly in ours.
Yeah.
On these
Wires.
things. Whatever.
Well, it was like you had
It was a
harness
challenge.
and-
So there was when there's you change from what's her name, the old lady, to the witch. I don't remember her name.
oh,
She starts out dressed as she's like the old lady that Dorothy
Oh my
sees.
gosh.
I don't know what her name is. Whatever. Then Kath had dressed up as her while I changed into the witch.
NTM.
ATM.
No,
right?
it's
no.
not Annie
The
M.
mean lady
It's
who's like,
Mrs.
you kicked my dog.
Oh, you picked my dog.
Oh no, she's like, your dog. She's like mad at her.
Your little dog.
Not
too.
you.
And your little dog, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that lady's name.
Yeah. I forgot her name. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Back to
I was
your
Christina's.
bike
Did I
ride.
fly?
Yes.
Yeah, you're on the
On
bike.
the bike.
I have no memory of that.
You were just on the bike like.
I blocked it out. Oh yeah, when the music is playing and the tornado's coming. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Like the perfect double. They'll never know.
Wait, that's
Wow.
so good.
And then we were in Wizard of Oz. We were the singing Meeks and Elisa. We were the singing trees. Were you the singing trees?
Facts.
too?
That was
No,
like
that was
off
the
stage.
Boyles's.
We're like,
You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the
I
night.
We
want to
sang
watch
the whole-
Wizard of Oz.
Oh my gosh.
our mom was
movie.
the music director, so she was like teaching us all the harms. So we did this really good, arrangement. Okay, what was your?
Oh,
what's the
my
low?
low is that I had like a stomach kind of bug. Not fun. I'll just leave it there.
Oh.
No details needed. I mean, I wasn't
I
anything
think you
that.
get the
I-
picture.
I
Yeah.
have PTSD, so.
Yeah, I don't need to go into detail for you. So.
Let me see. Let me think. What did I do this week? Oh, I had a really fun day on Sunday. That was a good day. I went to church. I went to Barnes and Noble. I did some reading. I did a walk, but then I think my walk kind of did me in.
That sounds thrilling.
It was really thrilling.
Sounds very
actually.
relaxing.
Fun day. I walked.
It was really fun.
walked. I ran.
I went to
I
Target. How much more fun could you get than going to Target and
I would
Barnes
say
and
that's like a
Noble?
calming day.
True.
A relaxing
Exactly.
day.
How much more fun?
Guys, I sent Amy a video a couple days ago of this girl doing a 24-hour readathon.
Yes.
And I was like, how fun does this look? I was like, wouldn't that be
Exactly.
fun? You literally just
You
go.
don't sleep.
And, no, you sleep. But it's like, for 24 hours, other than sleeping, you just go to a nice hotel and read.
I used to do that all the time, not the hotel part.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like
need something good for
one
that.
of my like general lows lately is I've been getting stressed about having free time.
What?
Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm feeling this like pressure of like, I must do this correctly. So
Your
I've had
free
to.
time.
Yes.
You have to do it correctly.
I'm like in church and I'm stressing out. I'm like, what am I going to do? I have no plans all day. Should I go to Barnes & Noble? Should I go to, should I do this? Should I do that?
There's no
And I feel all this
right
pressure.
or
I'm like,
wrong.
Tune into yourself and be like,
Yeah.
what do you need today?
yeah. So I've
you
been
could
starting to do
need
that.
multiple
which has been good.
things, and there's multiple right answers.
Yeah. And I was like, this is not like a pass or fail thing. It's just like my
Yeah.
life. And
It's a
it's,
good practice to tune into yourself in those moments.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's the chronic guilt getting to me of like,
Well,
must be living in a certain way at all times. And like some things there really isn't like a moral answer of like, what should I do
yeah,
today?
I used to feel like that with like scrupulosity, like moral, like what is the most moral act to do in this moment?
Yeah.
Should I eat a piece of bread? And it's like, I don't know. Like some things are just kind of neutral.
Well,
Yes.
that's when I think tuning into yourself and
Yeah.
your body, that's a big focus of me now. If you do that, your body's like telling you, your mind, whatever, is like telling you what it needs. And then you are taking care of yourself and giving yourself what it
Yes,
needs.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So then I tuned in and I realized I needed to go to Barnes & Noble.
Boom.
Love it.
Also, I have programmed myself almost like a Pavlovian response to where when I go to church, I have to go to a store after.
Oh.
I don't know why.
That is a real thing.
I literally, like, I want to
That's
go to
like
Target
good.
or to the mall.
Like, do you need to buy things every week?
I don't do it every week,
you
but
buy
like
them or you
I
just
want
take a
to,
look
or
through?
I think about it every single time I'm driving home. I'm like,
Well, yeah, if you get in like a habit, yeah.
yeah.
I
but
used to
it's
go every time after church when I was like single lady. I would go to that evening mass, and then I would go to the China buffet afterwards.
Wait, I love
And eat
that.
China
dinner.
buffet, where?
I wouldn't recommend it anymore. It went downhill, but it used to be really good. It was like you paid $10 something and you get like all the Chinese food that's like available, and then they have
I
like
love
frozen
Chinese
yogurt.
food.
It's so good.
Wait, that sounds
Then
fun.
there was a fly one day that was sitting on the tray, and I was like, I can't come back here.
Oh my God.
Never.
May have been a little sketchy, but it was good. Before.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my high and low. Okay, my high is that I have the most energy that I've had in months.
Oh, I
That's
love
a
that.
This whole week. That's my high. So that's a really good high. What's my low? My low. I feel like every week I can just say my low is having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
But did I really have a mental breakdown this week? Or is it just normal emotions? Probably normal emotions.
Yeah, what constitutes breakdown?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I fear we use the term mental breakdown a touch too liberally sometimes.
Well, I will say in the last 4 years of being a mother,
Yeah.
it is
I could see
Probably
that.
a lot of them.
Because
yeah,
in our last episode, when you're like, imagine
it's real.
having to care for a child when you're sick or whatever, I could see that leading to some mental breakdowns.
Yeah, so those were real mental breakdowns.
No,
I
I'm
know.
sure they were.
What is my real low? I don't even know. I'm just trying to think. Probably just like a general mental, no, like when you're just thinking about things and you're like torturing yourself a little bit. You're like, what
not
about
the
this?
torture.
What about that? And you're like, can't figure out what the heck in your brain. Like, I don't know.
Racing thoughts.
Just being like, what is the truth? That kind of thing, you know?
Ruminating.
Yeah, maybe.
Not rumination.
So just like torturing myself a little bit here and there.
I feel
Classic.
that. I literally-
Yeah. Just a little bit. You're in there.
Oh, and I need to say this being every time. If you're wondering where Lisa is, she's supporting her husband through his cancer treatments right now. So she's not even every episode, most of the episodes. When she's able to come in, we're like prioritizing music more and TikTok. So she's not always in these, but she's in the end a lot of time with Five Povs. But anyway, please keep their family in your prayers. It means so much to them, and they really appreciate it. So thank you guys for that. And if you want to get every full episode of the podcast, you got to join our Patreon, $5 a month. It's a great way to support us, and you get every full episode plus all the past things we've done, like our Monday Q&As. Now we have Motivation Monday. Every Monday, one of us starts your week off on the right foot, not a
side of
good
the bed.
foot. On a good note and the right foot.
Oh, on a good foot is fun though. I like that.
That's what I keep saying. Whatever. On a good foot. If you want to start your week on a good foot, then you got to join our Patreon and watch our Motivation Monday videos. And there's also the past series we've done, like things we don't talk about, and a bunch. Oh my gosh, Lisa's Wacky Wednesdays.
Those are so
worth it.
good.
And there's different tiers, like one where we do an exclusive live stream every month where we play unfinished songs and tell you guys things that we haven't told the public yet. Ooh. So it's a very fun place to be. Linked in the description, patreon.com/Cimorelli. Check it out. And now I need to tell you who this episode is sponsored by. Shopify. Shout out to Shopify. We've used Shopify personally for years. The Cimorelli merch store uses Shopify, and Lauren's our main merch gal. She's in the head of the merch department here at Cimorelli headquarters.
Cimorelli Inc.
Did you say that? I can't remember. You love it. I mean, not much to say about it. It's great.
It's great. I really like how the analytics are. It's really like user friendly, like looking through all the back end stuff. Like it's not like confusing and weird. It's like very easy to use. Well, some things are confusing and weird, and
Very
this
true.
wasn't. And we've never had any issues with them in the however many years.
That might be the only thing we've ever worked with that we've never had one issue with.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
So we are definitely huge fans of Shopify, so it's amazing to have them sponsoring the podcast. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. So upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Cimorelli, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Cimorelli to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Cimorelli. All right, now let's get to our main topic, which is
Loneliness.
loneliness. Lauren was sending us some of the main searches from, or not main, are those main or just big searches?
Yeah,
not
big
the main.
searches, not the
Yeah, I was
top
like, that's
five,
not the main. When I was looking at numbers,
Big
she's saying
searches.
these big searches on TikTok. Some of them were like 800,000, 1.2 million, 500,000, whatever. It was like a lot in like a week. And so many of them were loneliness and like abandonment wounds and like healing mentally and stuff like that. Which is kind of ties in, well, not kind of, that is what we're talking about today. Loneliness
yeah,
around
kind of ties in.
the holidays. So we all experience it in some ways.
Well, and I think it's one of those things where if you already are going through something, the holidays are a time where it sort of highlights it. It highlights what's already there. If you're experiencing grief and loss, if you are feeling like you don't have a good community around you, maybe you have some separation from your family or like estrangement, then it just feels like the holidays just shines like a light on it.
That is
Because
so true.
you see so much on social media of other people with their families, or maybe you're just feeling
It's
it
supposed to be
extra.
like this fun time where you're like surrounded by people. So if you're
Yeah.
not feeling fun or surrounded by people, it's like
So there's like a,
Really
I'm
hard.
thinking of different circumstances. It's like, for instance, I think the main things would be like, if you're going through a big like medical health situation, you're seeing all the activities and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do these anymore. Those all are going to hit you really hard. If you don't have a lot of people around you and then you see all these, like, you think of activities or you see people doing activities and you're like, I don't have that in my life. Or you watch movies and you're like, I don't have that. Or romantically, if you're like thinking, like dreaming of all the like romantic Christmas things and you don't have that and you really want that, then that's making you think of it. Or you're thinking of things you did with your ex and you're like grieving that. Losing someone, the holidays, everything, you're like, oh, they used to do this, I used to do this with them. That just you have so many memories and every single thing is like triggering a different memory. Did I cover most of them? Kind of most
oh,
of them.
you can talk about postpartum.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, there's a lot of things, but yeah, postpartum. Kath and I are gonna talk about this one specifically, obviously. Postpartum, new moms, or like pregnancy, that can be another thing that makes your holidays very difficult, lonely, isolating, etc., which I did not think about. So let's go into one of these. We'll just go topic by topic.
So one of the biggest things at the holidays, I feel like you hear this all the time. It's like if you've lost someone, then the holidays are one of the number one times where you would just feel the absence of them. You're like, they should be here, and you think about them. And one of the best pieces of advice I ever heard about grief is like to talk about the person. As hard as it may be, if it's your family, you might want to avoid talking about them. But I think it's actually one of those things where it's better to do the hard, uncomfortable thing and keep their memory alive. And I think that if you don't talk about them, it's sort of like the white elephant in the room. The white elephant. What is it? What is it? Just the elephant?
Just the elephant.
Wow,
But it is Christmas.
holiday fun.
edition is the white
Yeah,
elephant.
but yeah, so some ways that you can honor like someone that you lost. Definitely talking about them, sharing funny stories or anecdotes about them, making like their favorite meal or something that they would love, doing a tradition that they really enjoyed and like honoring them. Like or even like putting up a picture of them and having like some decorations around it or candles. Like keep them alive. Don't avoid them. I feel like that makes it worse. But remember them, and yes, they're not there with you and it's still going to hurt. But I think just doing what you can to honor their memory will kind of make that wound like a little bit less painful. I don't know.
That's definitely true. I think I've definitely found that when grieving someone, when you avoid it and like don't, which sometimes you're just like, I can't do this. I can't talk about this. I can't whatever. But then I've noticed when I do things that are like talking about it or like doing things in their memory, blah, blah, that kind of stuff, that does make it's so much more healing. It does make it easier.
Yeah.
And like doing these different symbolic things, they're just so helpful for healing.
Yeah. And there might come a time where one year you don't necessarily think about them as much, like maybe the pain has kind of eased a bit, and then you might feel guilty for not thinking about them. But you have to realize like if that person like really loved you, which I'm sure they did, like they would want you to be happy, and it's good that you're happy. It's good that you're enjoying it. It's okay that maybe it's not quite as painful or not at the forefront of your mind that year. It's just a sign of healing, and it's part of the process. So grief is very complicated and nuanced, different for every person, and whatever you're feeling that year is okay. Just want to say that too. There's could be a bunch of different things you're feeling depending on what stage you're at in the process. And you'll probably miss them. Like it's not like it's going to be over. It's like a lifelong thing that you'll always miss them. So yeah, just doing what feels right to you. But I definitely feel like honoring them in some way. If you're religious, I feel like definitely going to church, maybe staying in a little bit and lighting a candle for them. That's something at the Catholic Church. We have like all these little candles on the side you can light and pray for someone or just kind of like remember them. So just doing a little thing like that will, I think, ease that pain a little bit.
Yeah. What about romantic relationships? When you're single and you're like, what the heck?
This is when you put on the snow's coming down.
Yes.
I watch it fall.
That's
and
so
you
good.
listen to the Eagles one. Please.
Oh. I love it.
I feel like I have had many sad Christmases. Like my last relationship, it began in December. So every December, I always have like those memories of that beginning.
Ooh.
And it's like sad. But I feel like, and I've had a lot of like sad Decembers in that sense of like missing someone. And I feel like I just like lean into it and like romanticize it. And I listen to all the sad Christmas songs and just like cozy up by the fire with my hot chocolate and just like be sad. But it's kind of makes it more like, I don't know, I make it like artistic.
No, I agree.
That makes it more palatable for real. I
does.
mean, why would there be so many sad Christmas songs when they're literally like, all right, we're doing Christmas music. This is a celebration, blah, blah. And then people are like, I have to write a sad Christmas
Else
song.
will be
Because
written.
it's relatable. People go through it.
It's true.
Another good thing is to do when you're lonely in the holidays is to like really go for it with like making it festive for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
With your friends, with your family, with yourself. You can do something. I'm just telling you, yourself. You don't have to have anyone else to do plenty of really festive, fun Christmas things.
Yeah.
Just gotta just do it with yourself, and you may
And your friends. Hello.
really enjoy. Well, I'm saying maybe you're like, this is a rough time. I don't have any friends right now. I don't know.
I have no
I
friends.
moved somewhere. I don't have.
Listen to that one
friends.
for sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and also
Maybe you
like
lost friends in the breakup.
Oh.
I don't know.
also romanticizing your like environment, like your room, by like decorating it nicely and like keeping it a little bit cleaner if you can. Like that
If
really
poss.
helps. What? Sometimes it's
you're
not
in
as
like
posh.
a funk and it's just really hard.
But it's like-
I know about that.
But it's like putting up your lights and your little ornaments and your little things and making like a nice place for yourself to be sad and lonely, or like just like cave in.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you need it.
Sometimes you have to just go look at the Christmas lights by yourself, listen to all those sad things, and you still have that like Christmas moment. It's just like a sad one. But I look back at that and I feel fond memories of those
And it's
times.
like, get your journal, get your lights, get your little tree, and like wear a nice comfortable outfit, take a nice shower.
yeah,
And
take care of you.
feel good after you journal it out. And then maybe put on a Hallmark movie to lift your
Yeah.
spirits.
Or a Netflix
Because if you can't be in love, they can be in love.
yeah.
Okay, we were talking about this also, about how different Christmas is through different ages, and how much it changes, which for a period of time is really depressing. Am I right? For everyone, like when you're little, right?
And the world's so big.
I am struggling to remember certain ages, so maybe you can fill in the blanks here. But when you're really little, it is literally the most magical thing in the whole world. Like, cannot believe it's so magical. Cannot have a more magical time in life. Just like peak, right? But then you get to a certain age. Now, what age is this? I don't know. And I think it varies based on the person. Like, teenage years, I think, was fun. But then I was kind of depressed. And so I was like, this doesn't have the magic it used to have.
My like late teens, it was depressing.
It started to get kind of depressing. Why was that?
Because
I
I
don't
was
know.
depressed personally.
Well, yeah, me too.
That was why.
Is that why? It was just like, this is not as... Then it's like you're mourning. You're realizing that you're not a kid anymore. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh my...
That's
And you
so
realize it in the
true.
holidays. You're like, oh my gosh, when I was a kid, I used to experience this, or I used to... Whatever. Things were different. And then you are really sad about how different things are. And you realize, I am not a little kid anymore.
Yeah, it's weird. Holidays are so tied up with like your inner child. And I feel like if you have a lot of wounding in your inner child, you're going to feel that. Or if you're still like your inner child is like, you literally are a child and you're like excited about the magic. Or if you're an adult and that inner child comes back to life, you're going to feel that. So it's like, for better or for worse, the inner child is like living in
And
that
it's like a
time.
time that's like the same thing every year. So when you come back to it, you're doing the same thing you were last year and last year and last year. And it makes you reflect on exactly where you were at those different times. It's a really, like in normal life, it's kind of hard to just reflect like, oh, last year on November 1st, I was doing this. Last year on June 26th, I was doing this. Like, that's not that easy to remember. But then you're like, oh my gosh, Christmas, I remember this age I was doing that, and this age I was doing that. And you can very easily reflect on things. So it makes you reflect so much. And then there's grieving that happens in there. What happens after the teen years? Then once you get into like, oh my gosh, I'm an adult, I feel like that is another depressing
That one's
time.
harder.
That one was hard because then you're like, oh my gosh. You're not only just like, I'm not a little kid anymore. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't live with my parents anymore. I'm responsible for myself. I can't
I gotta
believe
spend so much money on Christmas gifts.
I can't
and
believe
pay my bills.
I'm officially absolutely not a child anymore. That one hits very hard too.
I think in your 20s too, I don't know if you guys relate to this, but I feel like you just like, or maybe that's just life in general, but for some reason at the holidays, you think about your life and you like evaluate it.
Yeah.
You're kind of zooming out and you're like,
Well, New
where
Year's
am I?
is
Close to
coming
New
up,
Year's,
so
yeah.
you're
yeah,
like,
New Year's is coming up. It's a very
Year.
reflective
Yeah.
time. And I feel like every Christmas for me, I would just think like, I hope I have my future husband next year. And then
Oh
the
my
next Christmas, oh, maybe next Christmas. Oh, maybe next year. And I just was like a little bit annoyed after that happened many years in a row. And I was like, okay, what the heck? God, hello. Like,
Yeah, whatever your big goals are, they really hit you in December when you realize, where was I last year? Like, whatever. If you're like, I really want to be married. I really wanted, maybe if you really wanted to get pregnant, maybe you really wanted certain career things, whatever it is, like, it hits you by the end time of the year.
Yeah.
oh yeah, can we talk about the postpartum one? Because I feel like that leads really well
Yeah.
into it. I was going to say, I also think a big part of it is your expectations versus reality.
Yes.
Like, I was so excited. I was like, and I feel like people said that to me too. Like, oh, it's going to be so magical. You have your first Christmas with your sweet little newborns, like such a special time, which it is a special time, but it also ended up being a really, like, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was just going to be this magical time with these snuggly little newborns. But I was 3 months postpartum with the twins. And I was so, like, that was when the sleep deprivation was like
Hit
peaking.
so hard.
So I was really out of it emotionally. Everything kind of felt like a blur. And I remember this one memory of, I was trying to get them to nap because they were getting to the point where they didn't really want to just nap on me out in public with all these loud, like, people around. They wanted to be in a quiet place. So my husband and I took them into, like, my parents' bedroom during Christmas dinner, or like right before. And I was like, okay, I'll get them down for like a little nap in their little travel bassinets, and then we'll go out and eat dinner. I remember being in there for like 45 minutes and I could not get them to sleep. And I could hear everyone starting to like make their way over for dinner. And I just sat on the bed and just cried because I was like, I'm literally missing out on Christmas. And I remember being in that room and just like pumping, and then like and hearing everyone out there like talking and laughing and like eating together. And I just felt like so isolated. And then also I felt resentful because I was like, I felt, even though no one was making me, but I was like, I feel like I have to be in here to take care of my kids, and I have no choice, and I'm missing out on this thing that I love and look forward to every year. And it wasn't magical, and it was I was really tired, and it just was like, just because it's Christmas, you're still up all night with the babies. Like, I don't know, I just felt it definitely was not what I thought it would be, and I just was kind of tired and sad. The next Christmas was way better when they were older because they were actually sleeping a little better.
Love it.
But yeah, that postpartum Christmas was really.
Hey, this is another postpartum Christmas.
But this is
But
so
she's
different.
like
she's
8
not
months
3
out
I'm
now.
gonna be I'll be like almost
that'll be
9
good, though.
months. Yeah, and he's sleeping a lot better than the
You're
twins
not
were.
as much in like survival.
No, I'm actually really looking forward to this Christmas
Yeah, I think
postpartum.
that'll be good for
I think
you.
this will be a lot better. Yeah, just out of that. Yeah, that sleep deprivation. It's just like your whole body like aches, and you're just like, ugh. And I'm not in that right
Christmas
now.
is so demanding.
Yeah.
Oh
Depending
my
on
gosh.
what you do.
And especially being a mom, I'm sure it's super demanding. I don't have to do anything. I just have to show up. But
Yeah.
like, y'all have a lot
No,
going
you have
on.
to like get all these gifts. You have all these
Yeah.
extra plans. You have to like, oh, I
Yes.
gotta make gingerbread. Da 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 da. I gotta show up this part. Blah blah blah. There's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff going on.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of things you're
But
thinking
as like a
about.
mom specifically, you have to like plan so much.
Yeah, doing that when you're, because I was 4 months postpartum both times, because both August babies, and my sleep deprivation was so bad, and that was the 4 month sleep regression, so that was a very bad time, and
Ooh.
and
Not the sleep regression when they're not even sleeping though.
I remember being at Target and just being like, how am I supposed to be shopping? How am I supposed to be doing anything for Christmas
Like,
right
how
now?
am I supposed to be jolly?
Yeah, it's like, once again, it's like if you're like pretty sick for the entire month, then you wish you could just like be like, okay, I'm not doing Christmas this year. I'm not doing anything. Even though you want to do Christmas, you're like, I literally can't do anything. But you don't just abandon everything Christmas. You just do it while you feel like you're dying. So
Wow, moms are so strong.
the postpartum Christmases were very bad for me because, yeah, it's just like every bit of me was just like aching in so much pain and so tired and just did not feel good. And then the next 2 years, the ones preceding both of those years, it went like first trimester Christmas and then 4 month sleep regression Christmas and then first trimester Christmas and then
Oh my god.
4 month sleep regression Christmas. So by the end of the 4 years, I was like, I hate Christmas. It's the worst time. It's so horrible. And I don't hate Christmas. I love Christmas. So that, first trimester Christmas was horrible because I get very, very, very sick in the first trimester. So imagine being sick when you have all the Christmas food around and you like don't want to eat any of it. I remember how depressing my Christmas dinner was because I couldn't eat almost any of it.
That's tragic. Oh no, I do know how
And you can't
feel.
save it for later.
I know
There's
exactly
no
how
later.
you feel because I had stomach flu on Christmas.
Oh.
And I was the only one that had it and got sick, so I don't know what that means. But
Oh,
like
that
I
is
remember
Oh my gosh.
I sang in the choir.
It's so
I was
depressing.
like my stomach was like killing itself from the inside out.
Yes.
And I was sitting there trying to be Christmas, and then mom and dad had to do a picture with every family. And then I'm like, in my picture, I'm like,
That was me both years pregnant. Really, really sick. Because that
it sucked.
Christmas was almost around the peak of my, not quite. That was the beginning of the bad part of morning sickness. So it was like, I can't remember how many weeks I was, but it was not good. So that pregnancy, well, that's like an isolating time. We'll talk about that when we're talking about like things we should do before getting pregnant. But a first trimester can be a very, very isolating time. So that is a rough time. That's why I'm never keeping that a secret again. I'm never waiting to announce my pregnancy again, ever again, because it's so isolating. I want to be able to talk to people about it. Never doing that again. But yeah, first trimester Christmas is not good. So, you know, if you're a pregnant woman and you're like, this is rough, there's nothing wrong with you. No one told me that. I don't think I've heard anyone say that. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just, it is rough. It's like being sick. Like, no one thinks being sick at Christmas would be fun.
No.
Hello. I'm just like lying on the couch.
Last Christmas was literally one of the most depressing Christmas seasons. I had all these plans. We got invited to a couple different parties, a cookie party. I was so excited. I love Christmas parties so much. And I kid you not, my twins got sick for almost the entirety of 6 weeks. Starting the very beginning of December all the way through the middle of January. And there was literally a 3-day break.
Kat, that's like traumatizing.
Right, it was traumatizing. Right at Christmas. So we got to actually go to Christmas Day. So that was good. I'm very grateful for that. But literally everything leading up to Christmas, canceled. Ooh. We just stayed home. And it was like, not going into too much detail, but it was this horrific vomiting, like stomach virus that lasted for 3 weeks right before Christmas. I mean, high fevers, like they were so sick and it was horrific. And I just I just remember sitting there being like, seeing all these pictures and stuff and seeing people doing stuff. And I was so sad. I felt like my brain was going crazy just from being in my house. And like, I wanted to get out so bad. And then suddenly someone would throw up again. And I was like, I thought we were over this. And then we got another really bad virus that was like a respiratory thing right after. But in those 3 days, I like made a million cookies for the fam. And we went to Christmas dinner and like went to church. And like the day after Christmas, luckily we did it right away. We went to this beautiful, like, it's like a walking, like you can like walk and see all these beautiful Christmas light displays. It was so fun. And then literally the next day they were like high fevers again, like coughing, it was so bad. But we crammed it in those couple days.
Yeah, I feel like getting older and like, not that I'm old, but you know, not being like a child. For me, it's like you have to change your expectations.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be that like super magical, exciting thing it was when I was 7. And I have realized that over the last few years, it's like you want it to be this like super fun, perfect holiday or holiday season, but it's like, it is just a day though, like any other day of your life where you might feel good, you might feel bad, you might have a good time, you might not. Like, you can't control that and you can't expect it to be this like perfect, great thing. And that's kind of what's been most helpful for me with like, you know, mental health going up and down, and just like accepting where I'm at and accepting the time for what it is, of like, I'm going to do what I can to like make the most of this because I care about that, and like I want to do what I can to like have the best Christmas I could have or the best Christmas season. But ultimately, like, it might not be that good of a day. I might not really feel good. I might be super anxious. I might be feeling depressed. I might be really exhausted, burnt out. Like, I cannot control that, and I just have to like go with that work with what I got and do the best that I can. And that mentality has been really helpful for me to not make it so like disappointing and depressing. And instead of like, oh, this sucks, it's not what I wanted, it's like, okay, what can I do that's realistic that I can do to make this the best it can be with where I'm at and what I have. Maybe you force yourself to go do the thing and it really wasn't that fun, but you're not like, man, I wish I didn't go. You're like, well, at least I tried.
Yeah.
I gave it a whirl.
And there's like simple, easier things that you can do. Like you can like go to the grocery store and buy those little like Christmas tree cookies and bake them.
Yeah.
And like you can watch a little Christmas movie.
Yeah, you don't have to like go out in public if that's too much.
No,
you can do stuff in your own
You can drive
home.
around and look at lights literally in your neighborhood.
The kids and I have been going on a lot of like walks in the evening and looking at Christmas lights, which is so fun. And that's what I need to say is it kind of like declines. The Christmas magic just goes down. Then you're kind of depressed. Then you kind of like come to terms with it. Then you have kids. And then you have a really rough Christmas and you're like, but then your kids get a little older.
And then it's fun.
And then you have a 4-year-old me this year. And then the Christmas magic is basically almost what it was as a child.
Oh, I love that.
It went all the way back up, guys. It is so fun because I was telling them, like, I can just show my kids any random thing, like a marshmallow. And they don't know what a marshmallow is. They've never seen it before. They've never tasted it before. You get to watch someone see, taste,
They are very much
hear.
your children because they're like, I want to watch the Grinch. They're
Yeah,
like
they are.
obsessed. I put on the Pharrell one. I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Every time we drive by any Christmas lights, Tristan especially yells, I see Christmas. I see Christmas. They're like freaking out about every little thing. They've never seen any of these things before. So it's so cool that suddenly you have all these cool things. They're like a nutcracker. Oh my gosh, they're losing their minds.
I love
over
that.
things that we've seen for many, many years, like a marshmallow. Okay. So it is so fun when you have kids. Does being an aunt bring back more magic of the Christmas season, having the kids around?
Honestly, I think it does the opposite.
I don't think I've really seen them excited about Christmas yet.
'cause you
Last
don't see
year
it all
they were
day.
too young.
Yeah. It's hard because it makes you like feel depressed in a different way because you're like,
Yeah, you're like, I have no money,
I have
no prospects.
Yeah. No, you're like, well, I don't have like a family anymore in the sense that I did.
Oh yeah.
You're like, my family made different families.
Yeah.
Which
Left
I think
without me.
I
Yeah.
think that all the time, though.
And then your mom makes you take a picture with your little brothers and your
No,
parents.
I think that all
And
the
you're
time.
like,
and
I'm like 30.
I'm like, whoa. I am still a Cimorelli. Don't even cut me out, okay? I think about that all the time, okay?
And something else that I feel like my go-to when, and maybe this could be my Enneagram, but like my go-to when I'm feeling lonely is what can I do for someone else who might be lonely? And that actually makes me feel better. So like some ideas, first of all,
Love it.
like an assisted living or like an old folks home or whatever they call it. That's like somewhere that you could go and Christmas Carol. I've done that before, and that's really really special to
You've
see.
Christmas
Like
caroled a lot.
Volunteering
Christmas
during
time.
the Christmas
yeah,
season.
I just
forgot
got an email
that.
about like there's like a turkey trot that they need like volunteers for. There's this organization that my brother and his wife used to go to where they would like help serve a Thanksgiving meal to like some of the homeless in Nashville. Like there's all these different things that need places that need help. And sometimes I feel like going outside of yourself and sort of just like remembering that you are a part of humanity and like
Yes.
you're not alone. Even if you feel that way, there's probably a lot of other people that feel the same way. And to like, or even like in your own backyard, like maybe like baking some treats and like giving them to your neighbors or inviting some of your neighbors over. Maybe you don't know them that well, but maybe there's some like elderly people or people in your neighborhood that are feeling lonely too. And they would love to like get together with other people. Maybe they don't have any invitations this year. So I don't know. It's just like there's so much you can do if you just kind of a little bit of creativity and kind of like looking around of like what are some things that I can do to connect with other people around me. It doesn't even have to be close family and friends if you don't really have that this year. Like there's still people and around you that would love that.
I love that.
And I bet you there's something you could do that would like help you with that feeling of loneliness.
Connecting with the elderly in this time is like one of the best things I will say, because we've done a lot of Christmas caroling, and like I posted in my neighborhood Facebook group and specifically picked some of them more like elderly couples, and we sang for them, and like a lot of them are like crying and
People
crying.
literally
they
cry
Oh,
when
it's
you
so
sing for them. yeah.
Oh
it's-
my gosh, wait. Remember the one year on Christmas when for whatever reason, I'm like, guys, we're going to go caroling at people's houses, whatever. And I posted on like Twitter or something. I'm like, who lives in Tennessee on This was Christmas, right? Christmas Day?
Or Christmas
Whoa.
Eve?
It was Christmas Day. It was Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
who
fun.
lives in Tennessee near us?
After dinner, we went up to like
And we
Hendersonville or something.
went to some fans' houses and
Oh my
sang
gosh.
at their houses on Christmas out of nowhere. And it was so
That was
fun.
fun.
That was really fun.
That was a wild plan. Anyway, okay, so that's that. Hopefully, we gave some ideas. Volunteering is such
Our
a must
greatest
in this time.
caroling story ever, though, when we knocked on someone's door and we're like singing for their family, and then their dad doesn't have like a shirt on, so he's like running back and forth trying to like get his shirt on.
And he was like, oh.
So funny.
Wait, that was so funny. Okay, so let's do our 5 POVs,
Okay,
where we're each going to give our POV on a question.
let's hear him.
So this week's is, this is a question I had from whatever, which is, are you type A or type B? Because of the TikTok trend about like type B.
I feel like I don't really get it because I see ones and I relate to both.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not like everything's organized and perfect. I like fit the type B, more like messy kind of thing. But
I know
I
they
don't
need
know.
it's type A and type B it's too much, just 2 of them. But
I guess
still.
I would be type A, I guess.
I would say
Yeah, you are kind of. What's one that's in the middle? Is there a type C?
Type C.
Yeah.
A plus B.
Divergent.
You are pretty balanced, I would say.
Thank you.
I would say I am type A, but
Yes.
when yeah, but my anxiety makes me
I
a
do it in my
little
free
more
time,
type
right?
B. Yes. With like certain things, I get a little more free flowing with because I'm anxious and I force myself to forget about them. But if I didn't do that, then I would be very, very stringent.
I feel like naturally I'm type B because I'm much more like forget things, like disorganized, like kind of messy. But I think because of my OCD, I sometimes can overly think like, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget something. So I'll like pack everything or like prepare a lot or get like do too much to prepare and overly. So sometimes I feel like when I see some of these type A videos, I'm like, oh, I do that. But it's just because I am naturally a B. So it's like, I guess I'm kind of a hybrid, but naturally a B.
Yeah, I feel like you're much more of like you're not as much of a type B mom, really.
I know. I thought, oh, the type B mom, that's so me. And then I watched the video and I was like, wait, I literally, they're like, I plan out every dinner we're going to eat like a week in advance. I like do a lot of stuff to prepare. Like I just don't, because if I don't, I get really stressed.
I
So-
can actually be kind of a type B mom, okay?
Wow.
I'm actually kind of a type B
I
mom
feel like
sometimes.
we're kind of similar in our type A and B-ness in those ways.
Well, I feel like to my core, I'm a stereotypical classic type A, but I have been
aren't
been
at the same
absolutely
time.
forced out of that, and I have adapted to this world that I live in.
You're not like, oh, I got everything prepared.
Yeah, I have
You're
adapted
like,
to this world and of our parents. who
My
made
parents
me
are
adapt
both
to
firmly
it.
type B.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
They've never made a plan that
This
they
is
didn't
what-
want to change or make.
This is what happened. As a kid, I was crying in the car because my parents were not in there to leave. My mom was in there.
Literally me.
I was in there
Same.
crying, looking at the numbers going
Like,
up.
I'm
like,
so
why are we
late.
leaving? I was going and resetting all the clocks.
Is that why I have like
Secretly-
extreme anxiety about being late? I'm like,
Yes.
I cry sometimes about being late for things.
Secretly
I'm like,
setting my mom's watch to try to get her to be on time. As a child, I was putting a line down the middle of
That
our
is
room
so
saying, Catherine, clean your side and I will clean my side. I was crying when I couldn't get my hair in a perfect ponytail and there was one bump, crying over and over and over. And then I had to adjust to the world that I lived in, and I adjusted.
That's a hard pill to swallow.
And now I'm type B sometimes. But
I love it.
But I married a type A/type B,
You did.
which is so weird. We are both so type A.
You did the opposite.
And then
He's
not.
the opposite, which is like
I was
naturally
researching.
more of a B.
Yeah,
but
Nick
his
and I are
parents
so
so
similar.
A.
Well, I was talking to my friend the other day, and she was talking about how her parents made her be 15 minutes early to everything their entire childhood. And if she was driving like an hour away, they had to leave an extra hour early. So they would get there an hour early.
No, that's too much.
And she was saying how horrible that was.
That's scary.
Maybe like an hour and 10 minutes.
And I was like, maybe a happy medium would be good.
yeah.
Wow. This is a perfect illustration of my weird type A-B-ness. I was like,
Type
okay,
AB.
Tuesday's going to be a really busy day. I'm going to cut all the vegetables and prep them the night before for the soup that I'm making in the morning. So I did that. I prepped all my vegetables last
Plain
night.
soup.
And then I was putting the soup together and I chipped the Pyrex glass container that the potatoes were in. And I don't know where the chip went. So this glass is just in my crock pot somewhere. I went through all the vegetables in a strainer, couldn't find it. So then I had to like start over and do a different meal. So I tried to prepare and it ended up.
What kind of soup was it?
It was a chicken, the best soup ever. Creamy, lemony chicken and potato soup.
No,
I don't get why part of type B is like losing stuff and
Being forgetful.
It's like clumsy and
I don't understand
I
that.
don't know.
I
But
don't
that
know.
stuff does never. I will say that stuff pretty much never happens to me ever.
And I'm like, if I wouldn't have prepped
So that's
this,
not
it wouldn't
type
be
B.
in a glass container and I wouldn't have chipped it. I was like, ah. Anyway.
Maybe
But
some
with my
plastic
kids, I'm like,
cracker.
okay, we're eating on the couch. What do you want? That's what I do almost every night, which is not very type A of me. But I do die inside when I do that every night. do die.
I was like one of those people that was like, I can't believe people let their kids eat in front of the TV or eat somewhere not at the table. And now I definitely let them do it all the time because I'm like trying to get them to force them to sit at the table for an entire meal is like, I'm not
It's too
trying to like
much.
pull out everyone's teeth. Like that's just too much work.
Yeah, it's a topic I've been thinking about a lot lately for no good reason because it's really pointless, type A versus type B, but I've been thinking about it every day and I need to move on.
I
but
feel like all of
can't.
us are type AB or BA. You would be BA.
Yeah, and I don't know why I care. Why do I care? I don't know. Okay, so let's
It's just
move on.
interesting.
I just can't. Every time I look at Nick every day, I'm like, I'm just like analyzing him. No, I've been analyzing him and I'm like, why are you? I'm just thinking about a lot of things. I'm like, how did this happen? How are we both so this and not this and that? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So let's
could
move on to Sister Spotlight, where each week a different sister gets a spotlight on her. We have Get Real with Christina, Sap Your Sass Outs with Kath, Lisa's Corner, Amy's Rants and Raves, and Not
Yes.
Current Crisis,
No, because I don't have so many crises. I'm
And-
healing my mental illnesses.
Lauren's Take. And this week the sister is
Hi.
Amy's Rants and,
And
Raves.
raves. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, your girl, she's back. She's back. Guys,
Yes.
there are many things I could rant and rave about today. Because not even rave. I have so many raves in my life lately. So I'll give you a list of top raves. Number one will always and forever be Hallmark. They're on their grind, guys. Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Oh,
Sunday.
Whoa.
New Christmas movies.
Wait, 4
Amy,
Christmas movies a
How
week?
many do you watch by the end of the Christmas season? How many have you watched? I
Oh,
just wanna
honey,
know.
so many.
How-
I
give
couldn't
me a-
even tell
Give
you.
me a real number.
I don't know. Probably like 30,
Wow.
if not more.
So every day you
It doesn't
watch
get
one.
boring?
Probably some days too.
Wow.
Throughout the year, too, I watch like a million.
yeah.
I watch them all the time.
Wow.
Because Hallmark is just this beautiful, nice PG world
Oh, I love it.
where nothing ever goes wrong and everyone falls in love. Well, who
Oh,
wouldn't want to
I
live there?
love it.
Okay.
It's
And
really
yet,
calming for the nervous system.
Every time I come downstairs and Amy's watching something, she's like, I'm like, what's the
Because
joke? What was funny? And she's like, oh, just this movie's
it's
so weird.
embarrassing.
It's such a
that
weird
I love
movie.
them.
I'm like, it's not weird. I know
Lauren
you
said-
watch
Amy's like,
Hallmark.
this, then you can actually like, oh, this is so weird. Oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
weird.
Listen, I try to embrace it.
I accept your Hallmark watching. I don't have a problem.
You gotta get over it.
Amy,
Amy
I
knows.
know.
The secret is out. She knows.
I know my secret is out. So I
Amy
was like,
becomes a pick-me girl.
yes. I do.
You're not really. It's just a spirit
I'm
comes
like-
over you.
Well, who
never
put
be
this
me.
on? It's like I'm watching something like bad or something, but it's not bad. It's Hallmark.
Okay.
It's just embarrassing because it's like, well, because you and Melanie trashed them up and down the block for
Amy,
years.
Do you
Wow.
think
I trashed
A real
them?
they are
conflict.
high quality perfection? No.
No.
So you have the
I
same
feel embarrassed.
critiques.
Yes.
but you like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them and they're terrible. So I guess
Yes,
they can
so
both
you
can both
agree.
figure it out. Yes. Listen, Hallmark is not out here for the Oscars.
Yes, and no one said it had to be.
Okay, but
So
Amy's
good.
the representative of Hallmark, so why would you trash them to Amy?
Because we're watching the
representative of
movie
Hallmark?
and
Yeah.
we're all making
We're all
fun of
trashing
it.
it.
We're like, LOL, they got married after 2 days of knowing each
Which
other.
they literally
Don't you do that
have,
too in your
after
head?
all the
Yes!
memes, after all of that memeing about getting married after 2 days,
real.
they don't do it anymore. They changed their plot
They're like
lines.
3 years.
They
and
also
they
changed
should've
all
kept up
their
with us.
okay. First of all,
Oh.
why are they obsessed? They used to be obsessed with the whole like cheating plot line. I don't know why. I'm like, honey,
yeah.
we're supposed to be like PG, gumdrop, lollipop worlds.
They have,
So
like,
why
an
is everyone
obsession.
cheating up in here? But now they're not anymore.
What?
They always break up with their boyfriend at the beginning of the movie.
Love
So
it.
they're free and easy down the road they go.
That's so weird.
Oh.
Why would they do the same thing every time?
I don't know.
It's just a class.
Honestly, I think they repurpose scripts and they're like, okay.
They have AI like
Yeah.
change a couple
Wait, you
things.
think?
No, but like they write the
You should
same.
know.
It's a study in like how many different ways you can do the same exact idea. It's insane. They come up with some wild,
That's really
wild ones. Travis and Jason Kelsey's mother is coming to Hallmark
Oh.
for now. They've partnered with the NFL.
Wait, is she an actor?
Not professionally, but now she is.
Now she
That
is.
is really interesting.
You don't need to be an actor to be in Hallmark. Come on, people.
That's
What?
You don't. You literally
that's
just
really
need to
interesting.
be
Okay,
someone
so
who was in Mean Girls.
listen to what she's saying,
That's
and
an
then
act.
why would that be offensive for me to say the same thing?
It's
she's
not
saying
offensive.
while we
It
watch
just
the
is
movie?
embarrassing.
Wow, you guys got a real conflict here.
Because you do.
Amy's like, you don't need to be an
But
actor. You
it's
could be a tax
okay.
accountant. You could be a firefighter. You could be in
Yes.
this movie.
Yes.
Anyone.
Because she's not
No,
watching
it makes it embarrassing.
because she's not watching on that one moment. She watches it every day.
Yes,
This is
I'm
her
not
life.
watching it for the art. I'm watching. it
I
for the
know
vibes.
that. I
and
know
you
that.
know that.
Amy, I watch
But I still
things
just feel embarrassed.
in the same way. I'm saying
Yeah.
let
Amy,
go
time
of
to own it.
Thanks.
You gotta own it.
I text Nick's girlfriend about Hallmark movies all the time because we're
Oh
both
my
obsessed.
gosh, that's funny.
We're like, we need to watch it. Anyway, I love it. I texted Nick. I was like, Nick, you, me, and Zoe gotta watch the Kansas City Hallmark movie.
Would he watch it?
He has watched them with her and
What
her
does he
mom.
do? Does he trash them?
I think
I
he's
gotta know.
Nick is actually nice. It's shocking. So he just sits there and probably just like chills.
Yeah, but I want to know what he's really thinking. Could be
So that's my top rave. Second top rave is Barnes & Noble, specifically reading, specifically the book I just read, specifically Don't Believe Everything You Think. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Oh, so good. Amazing. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I need to finish that.
Perspective shifting, life altering.
That's what everyone says.
It's true because it's like you can go through your life and experience the same exact thing in so many different ways, and a lot of times
all
we're
about
just ruining
perspective.
our own life. Like we don't live in reality, we live in our perception of reality. And so like getting your perception of reality as close to what reality is like the key. And he's like has this
Ooh.
this example where he's like, you can be sitting on your couch like we are right now with your family watching a movie and you're sitting there thinking about how terrible your job is and how you need to quit and all this different stuff. You're not experiencing the reality of this nice moment.
Oh,
And you're not experiencing the same reality that your family is experiencing either. And it's like all these, the main point is like, you don't need to add suffering to your life. There's already bad things that are going to happen.
so true.
And it's interesting because it's not like about like, it's not about like shoving your emotions down. He's like, no, imagine experiencing your emotions without all this external stuff on them. Like it's so much easier and like better for you, and like you go through life so much easier when you're not trying to fight it all the time and trying to like put all these narratives there that shouldn't be there if you just experience life. And it's interesting, a lot of it also is like your goals and your values of like what you're valuing. Like if you're making goals from desperation versus inspiration, where it's like if your goal is so you will feel validated by other people because you did this certain thing, that's a goal of desperation. And so you need this recognition for this. Exactly. And it hurts you though because you're going through all your things with this desperation behind you. But if it's from inspiration, like what would I do if I could do, like if I had all the money and all the time and all the things in the world, like what
always think
inspires
that.
me. Exactly. And then when you look at it from that point, like you could have the same goal, like, but you look at it from desperation versus inspiration. So
wow.
that is great.
Too real.
Target's another big win. I love Target. It just lifts my mood. I'm sorry. I do not encourage consumerism, but sometimes a
Yet.
good walk around Target is like really healing. Like,
Yeah, why is
genuinely.
it so fun?
It is.
Just why?
It's our hunter-gatherer soul.
Yes.
Okay, my kids and I love to go
The hunter-gatherer.
walk
yes.
around and smell everything.
Yeah.
We just open all the
Yes.
shampoos and the deodorants and we smell them all.
You cannot tell me when someone did
Okay.
you wrong and you give yourself a little bit of a Target shopping spree, you don't feel better.
I gotta say, their coffee creamer selection is elite.
It's great.
Really?
It's the best. It's the best out of anywhere.
Yeah.
I promise
I
you.
know that.
I can see that.
So yeah, those are some of my top raves right now. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all we
There you
gotta
have
say.
it.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And if you want to see every full episode, you got to join our Patreon, patreon.com/Cimorelli, link in the description, and you'll get every full episode and all this other stuff I mentioned earlier. Thank you for supporting us so much. We love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Facebook and Instagram.